I'm going to make a game using the mouse as a sensory device, and we're going to use a Snow White theme. The object of the game is to collect the green apples, the good ones, and to avoid the red ones. So to start, I'm going to delete the cat and then add background under the Backgrounds tab of Stage. I'm going to import a forest. Then I'm going to add a red and green apple. I will need to get a new sprite and import my red apple, which I will need to shrink a bit, and my green apple. Green apple's a little bit smaller, let's make them bigger. Now I need to add scripts to the apples to make them do things. So under the green apple, I'm going to go under Control and take the block that says when flag clicked. So when the start button is clicked, I want this apple to show. So under looks, I will take show. That will make the apple show up on the screen. And then I want him to do a motion. So I'm going to grab from motion, turn. Right now it says turn 15 degrees. But what I want is the apple to turn randomly in a 360. So I'm going to grab operators and pick random 1 to 360. That will make the apple look like it's spinning. And then I'm going to want to add the sensory to the apple. So under Control, first I'm going to get forever. And then forever if and else. And then forever if, under sensing, I'm going to get touching and put that in a little box there. And pick mouse pointer. So if the apple is touching the mouse pointer, it's going to hide. And I'll grab hide from looks. But if it's not touching the mouse pointer, under else, I need that apple to keep moving. And it's going to move 10 steps, and if it's on edge, bounce. This will keep the apple from running into the wall and staying there. So if it reaches the edge, it'll bounce. So let's play and see what happens to the green apple. So the green apple bounces around on the screen. It's moving a bit too fast for my liking, so I'm going to slow it down so it's only going to move 5 steps. And that's a pretty good pace. But you can make the game harder and have more steps, and that will make the apple move faster. So I need a similar script to this to add to the red apple. So what I'm going to do is drag this over the top of the red sprite apple, and it'll just copy the same script there. But I'm still working on the green apple, so I'm going to go back to the green apple. I need to create a variable for the green apples. So under variables, I'll go make a variable. And this is for all sprites. And this variable is going to be called good apple. It'll help me keep track of the good apples. So after the apple hides, I want to wait 1 second. 1 second seems long. I'm going to wait half a second. And then under variables, I'm going to change good apple by 1. So that means after I touch the green apple, it's going to change the good apple by 1. So you get a score. The delay keeps the apple from being counted more than once, because if I didn't have the delay, I will show you here. If I take out the wait, whenever I touch the apple, it counts 40 times, but I only want it to count once. So now, it only counts once, 41. But I want the game to start with 0 good apples every time. I need to set good apple to 0. So when the game starts, it always starts on 0. Now I need to add script to the red apple. Instead of hide, I want to make a noise, a witch's cackle. I downloaded a witch's cackle online, and I think that's the one I'm going to choose. So, if the mouse pointer is touching the red apple, it's going to play a sound. I need to import my witch's cackle. I think that's a great witch's cackle. And it's going to play the sound. And then I'll want it to broadcast game over. So I'll create a new broadcast and call it game over. And then, because the witch's cackle is about 6 seconds, I want the game to wait 6 seconds before ending. And then stop all. So that when you touch the red apple, the witch will cackle and the game will stop. Now what broadcast does is it sends a signal behind the scenes of the game, so you can instruct things to happen when a broadcast is sent out. So when game over happens, I want the game over screen to come up. I made one and I'm going to add it as a new sprite. That's my game over, and I'm going to make it a bit bigger so it fills up the whole screen. And on this sprite, I'm going to put, when the flag is clicked, I want it to hide right at the beginning of the game. But when I receive game over, the broadcast, it's going to show. So let's test it. So the game ends. Now I want to duplicate all the sprites. So I'll right-click the red apple, and it will duplicate. So I have 4 red apples, and I'm going to do 4 green apples. I'll do 5. And now, each of the red apples has the same code as the first red apple, and each of the green apples has the same code as the first green apple. Now I want to create a winning screen, and I'll import my winning screen sprite. Let's move them to the middle there. Okay, and now I need to add scripts to this sprite. So when the flag is clicked, I need it to hide. But forever if, I need to take an operator and get the one that has the greater than, and take good apple and put in 4. So because I have 5 apples, if the apple count is more than 4, then I want the you win to show. Then I want to wait 1 second before I stop the script. So this will end the game. So let's test it. So I win. I've collected all the apples, and that's the end of the game. So now you can start creating your own games on Scratch. You can take any of the games that are on the website and start building from one of those, or you can start building one of these. It's completely up to you. Make sure to consult your peers and the people in your group and work together.